the original Switch has been a fairly big success for Nintendo, honestly, and we knew that they were working on a new version, possibly two. The second one still is non-confirmed, but the one that did get confirmed the other day was the Nintendo Switch Lite, which is a handheld-only variation on the original Switch, which means the Joy-Cons are no longer Joy-Cons. They are actually attached to the body of the device, which it has... The screen has shrunk from 6.2 inches, I believe, to 5.5 inches. And the HD rumble has been removed, as well as the infrared sensor, because it's no longer motion controls.
Sounded like you could still use amiibos on it. Still had that, so
Yeah.
if you have amiibos, they wouldn't want to take that functionality out of it, because it's like you bought that DLC, that physical DLC. That's what the amiibos are. It's like you need to be able to use them still. But some of those, like, oh my god, I already forgot the name of that game. What was that launch game for the Switch where it had like all the gimmicky motion controls?
1-2 switch.
Yeah, 1-2 switch.
Yeah, they said if you want to play a game like that, you'll have to either own or buy a pair of Joy-Cons.
So yeah, you won't have your sandwich eating mini game. You won't be able to play that with your Switch Lite. Okay.
I don't think that's that big of a loss, but
yeah,
it is keeping the 720p screen that the original Switch has, though. So it'll still be high def.
And people are saying, like, okay, this is like a glass half full type thing. They're saying, well, the screen's a little smaller, but the resolution is better, so that means better pixel density. Yeah. So, I mean, that if you want to look at it glass half full, yeah, sure, that's true, but the screen is smaller.
It's also to make it more portable, though. I mean, it's a dedicated handheld version. Which, despite that, they still say that this is not meant to replace the 3DS. The same thing they said when the original Switch launched. Despite the fact, like, I mean, this is a very clear upgrade to the 3DS.
It's not like they're gonna say, everyone sell your 3DS, throw it in the trash. They're not going to say that. But, also, this new Switch Lite, it's some 30%. It weighs 30% less, or 33% less. Like, they just cut the weight by a third. So.
Well, they removed the rumblers. They removed the IR blaster part of it.
People were anticipating
they shrunk the screen down.
The working name from people anticipating this is like the Switch Mini, which I don't think is appropriate when I look at what the Switch Lite is. I wouldn't call it a mini console by any means. Yeah, they shrunk the screen a little bit, and light is, it's lighter on some features you probably don't even care about, and
not really for a dedicated handheld. In fact, it'll improve battery life.
People are getting like all jealous about the like the D-pad that's on there.
Oh yeah, that's another feature. Instead of directional buttons like on the left Joy-Con, it actually has a actual plus D-pad.
And Nintendo is saying, "Oh, we don't plan on making an official Joy-Con with a D-pad. So like you have to get a Switch Lite if you want the D-pad." Although there are third-party ones.
I'm like sure there are.
Hori makes one it would just be like the left side Joy-Con. Whatever the price on that was, it was less than an official, Switch Joy-Con would be.
Mm-hmm.
So it's $200 instead of $300. That's the biggest selling point of it.
Definitely.
As someone who doesn't have a Switch, there's there's really two, or I would say actually three main games that I would want to play on Switch. Okay, and that would be Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, Super Mario Odyssey, and Super Mario Maker 2. And with Breath of the Wild, I actually got that on Wii U. Okay, I got that on Wii U 2 years ago, and it was originally going to be a Wii U game, and then they re-optimized it for like being a launch title for Switch, and that was like one of the best launch games ever for any console ever. Maybe the best one since like Halo on Xbox. Like,
Yeah, having
the
it
system.
launch with Breath of the Wild was a great move. Absolutely.
I I wouldn't want the Switch Lite because if I was going to play Super Smash Brothers, I would want to be able to dock the Switch.
Put it on the big screen. Yeah.
Yeah, that, but also connect a GameCube controller adapter. Like there are USB GameCube
Mm-hmm.
controller adapters that worked on Wii U and they work on Switch, and I would want to play with a GameCube controller. I have a number of GameCube controllers that are in good working order, official Nintendo ones, because I used to really like Super Smash Brothers, and I have this is the longest time I've gone without getting like a new Nintendo system, a new Nintendo home console since ever. I mean, this is it, man. I think I waited a good while to get the Wii U. I waited until Smash came out, and then when Smash came to the Switch, I was just like, I'm just not getting it. There's
I don't know. I like the Pokemon games, which I'm excited to see the new version on the Switch. I wouldn't mind playing Breath of the Wild, and like these games are all good to go too. So Mario Odyssey is another one. Like playing that on the go and stuff. Like it would be nice.
another one that I would. I'm not sure if this is on PS4. It's called Monster Hunter 4 Generations. Is that the name of it? I'm pretty sure it's on Switch.
Hmm.
Might be on PS4, but if it's not on PS4, I think it originally came out on the 3DS, and then they made a Switch version. And for some reason, I think it might be on PS4. But that's another game that I would maybe be interested in getting. It's not as streamlined as Monster Hunter World. It's more like the previous Monster Hunter games, which were much more difficult to get into. Like when I played Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate on Wii U, which was it was originally a Wii game, and then they kind of like did an updated version for the Wii U. It was so hard to learn how to play that game. Unbelievably hard. I mean, I
I
remember
liked the
just
Monster Hunter games. I played them back in the PS2 era and stuff, but we
God,
need to move on.
drat. Okay.
Okay, so Amazon's Game Studios is making a free-to-play Lord of the Rings MMO. The last time we saw a Lord of the Rings MMO was like back in 2000s, the late 2000s, like 2007ish. I don't remember how long it lasted, but I do remember it started as a subscription game, then went free to play, if I remember correctly. But an interesting part is that the same company who's managing the Amazon Game Studios also like I'm gonna get this wrong. Basically, they're attached in some way to the Warframe, the developers who make Warframe, which is a pretty good game. It's MMO-ish, and this is mainly for people who are afraid that they might try to gouge with microtransactions, basically. Warframe has some of the most sensible microtransactions in gaming right now, believe it or not. And basically, all they are time passes, like for crafting and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So that gives people hope that there's a chance that this new free-to-play MMO from Amazon isn't going to price gouge you, or at least not that bad. But we'll see, obviously, because yeah, Amazon, and they like money. So
funny how Amazon worked for so many years. They were like running their business like at a loss, or like breaking even, or running it at a loss for years and years and years. And you could see like these interviews of Jeff Bezos, like people talking to him, and it's like they're like mocking him. It's just like you don't know how to. They're basically saying like you don't know how to run a business. You don't know how to make money. And then like just like within the last 5 years or something, it's like they flipped the switch, and now the dude's like the richest man in the world. So I mean, Jeff played the long game. He played the long game, and for as much money as he made, you think it would take like a lifetime. Like he would have to be like 70 years old or something to amass that much money. But no, but very, very remarkable how that happened.
Yeah, definitely. He turned a 180. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. We don't know much about it. We do know that it's going to take place before the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and most likely after the Hobbit. Or it might take place long before then. Who knows? I don't remember correctly. I've never played the original Lord of the Rings MMO, but wasn't that like the First Age? Didn't that take place in the First Age? I think it might have.
The only Lord of the Rings game I played was the Shadow of Mordor. It's the only one I played, and
Shadow of War is now on Game Pass.
Is it on Game Pass for PC?
I think so, but
oh, that'd be nice. Be nice to check out if it's a PC version.
Other than that, we don't know too much.
I think if they were going to, I think generally if they're going to make Lord of the Rings games, pretty much everything would need to just be a prequel to what was.
Well, I mean,
Hobbit.
They're
for the most part,
they own the rights now, which is why they're making a Lord of the Rings TV series. I say TV series because it's an Amazon Prime show. So
I'd still take the term TV series. Yeah,
we could say internet series because TV, like.
I like that one better because I always feel so conflicted. I'm like, it's not really TV. I mean, you could watch it on a TV, but
yeah. So, internet series. Yeah, they're working on a Lord of the Rings series, and there's a bunch of people looking forward to it. I know nothing about it. Sorry. I just know of its existence. But who knows when we'll see that. It took us a few years before we finally got the Dark Crystal TV series. It was all just, we're making it until a few, like a month or so ago, when that trailer hit. So, and that's coming out later this year, so we'll see.
Free to play MMO. I gotta say that Warframe, I've heard so many good things about Warframe. I don't know how the hell I haven't even tried to play Warframe, yet I tried to play Planetside 2 a couple years ago.
I like Planetside 2. It's chaos and I love it.
I remember like booting up Planetside 2 and I don't think it ran that well on my graphics card at the time, and I it wasn't too shabby, but I just needed something a little bit more, and it was a pretty demanding game for a
I
free to play
mean,
game.
hundreds of people on screen at once, so like this is a Ash. Have you ever played Planetside? Planetside
I
2?
don't think so, no.
Think of like Battlefield, but on a massive scale where there's
And
hundreds of players.
there's like three teams,
Yeah,
three factions, and it's like
they're
they're just
fighting for
trying.
territory.
Yes, and it's like you could just go to the center of your territory, and there'd be like no action at all, or you could go to the front line. I didn't
And
even
it's
go to
chaos.
the chaos. Yeah, I think when I booted up PlanetSide 2, I was almost like just testing my PC at the time, right? So I wasn't really, and this was back in like 2013, 2012. So I was still like pretty new to playing FPS games on PC, and I just wasn't really competitive playing, those kinds of games at all at the time. And which I should say, if you're trying to get into PC gaming, don't just jump into a competitive FPS game. That's like you're gonna it's not gonna turn out well. What I always tell people, and I tell this to Zach too, because he usually likes to play with a controller on PC. I tell him to get your bearings for an FPS game, you should play games like some of these Valve games, Half-Life 2, Left 4 Dead, of course, the ones Portal and Portal 2. Those are great games to get used to WASD controls and mouse controls with less pressure than if you were playing like another good one. I always say, just playing Overwatch against bots. I mean,
Yeah, bot matches help. I mean, they do that
and the thing is,
in League of Legends too.
And as far as bot matches on Overwatch, if you play on easy or normal difficulty, the bots, it's all kind of easy. It's like, I think like anyone could play that. But then as soon as you put it on hard, all of a sudden you're getting like right clicked by roadhogs in a way that like nobody in Overwatch League could do. Just impossible skill shots. Yeah, Zenyatta and Roadhog are just broken in Overwatch on hard mode. The hard bots, totally broken.
All right, okay. So
yeah.
Next up is we have a, I guess you want to say sneak peek at a prototype Xbox controller for phones and tablets. It's basically, it's a modular thing. Like, from what I've seen, the pictures show 3 different types of grips: a small, medium, and large grip. Or you could use it without the grip. And it's basically just the thumbstick and D-pad and the thumbstick and face buttons on these little devices that like go onto the ends of your phone or the sides of your tablet and give you controller-like functionality for whatever games you might be playing. But this was, while it would work for some mobile games and stuff, it was mainly designed with xCloud in mind. And the fact that if you're using xCloud, you'll be able to stream your games from your Xbox or from Microsoft servers to your mobile device or something else, and this would give you basically full controller to work with on those devices. Also, there is, kind of looks like a charging puck, I guess. It's the charging dock for the controller units, and you can actually have the controller on that and have it be a separate controller. Use it while it's connected onto the charging dock. So you could play it as just a wireless Xbox controller, which means you could probably hook it up to your Xbox as well.
So we were talking about the success of the Switch earlier. We're getting some features with this similar to some of the Joy-Con. It resembles some of the features of the normal Switch.
Only with a more Xbox controller style.
Interesting.
With an actual D-pad, not like a button D-pad.
Yes, a D-pad, the offset analog sticks, everything.
I think my favorite...
And triggers and stuff. Triggers and bumpers.
I think my favorite game controller, if I really think about it, I really like the old Super Nintendo controller, or just that everything on there.
Just the rounded square.
The thing is, as an adult, if I were to use that, maybe it would feel small. But I just remember that always being like a real nice controller. But another one, I think the 360 controller, I really like that, except for the D-pad. I don't like... D-pad's good for like inventory, but as far as if you were like playing like a side-scrolling game, like you're using that for directions, it's kind of shitty. But
yeah,
Xbox 360 controller, that's my kind of... That's what I use.
Well, it's probably going to be based off the Xbox One controller. Or whatever controller update Scarlet has. It'll probably be based off that tech, so... The Xbox One controller, I know, had upgraded the D-pad from the 360.
You know, I'm kind of looking at basically the kind of controller layouts we've had since like PS3 and Xbox 360.
I mean, I can tell you that the PlayStation controller has barely changed at all.
And it's like...
and honestly, neither has the Xbox, really. It started with the Duke, which was just a big version of the controller we have today, and it just shrank down. Because there was the Duke, then they released the Mini Duke, and then when the Xbox 360 came out, their controller was hailed the best controller design ever.
Something else I gotta say about 360 controllers. I used to play a lot of Call of Duty, and maybe it's just me misusing the controller, but pressing in the left stick the sprint, that really wore out being able to do that after a while.
So I never had that problem, but I have had stick drift.
Just pressing in the sprint, that's another reason why I don't like playing, like, I wouldn't want to play competitive FPS games on console.
I probably went through, like, 4 or 5 controllers just because of the basically, like, if you try to do something with the stick, it would keep going because, like, it didn't snap all the way back to 0.
Yeah, I think the first 360 controller I ever got, and I still have, I think there is some drift on that, but this is like a controller that I've had for like 10 years, and I probably haven't used it in like the last 3 years.
Keep in mind, though, that this isn't a Microsoft only problem. It's just general wear on the sticks and the pad beneath it. But yeah, it still really sucks.